A lot of speaking, you're going into companies, big companies, small companies. What are some of the classic mistakes that these companies are making when it comes to leadership or getting people to make change?
I think one of the biggest mistakes is just the definition of leader. People think leadership happens as you gain rank. Nothing could be further from the truth. Leadership is a practice and leadership is a choice, and it's the choice to look after those around us. That's what leadership is. I know many people who sit at the highest levels of companies who have authority, but they're not leaders. We do as they tell us because they have authority over us, but we wouldn't follow them.
Well, that sounds like stewardship.
Call it whatever you want. It's what it is.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest failings in most organizations is we don't teach people how to be leaders. It's a skill, and it requires education. Some people have natural capacity, like some people have natural capacity to play basketball, but it still requires a lot of hard work. Yeah. Parenting is a skill. It's the same thing. So when someone's junior in a company, we give them training how to do their job, right? Lots of training. Here's how we do it in our system. Some people go get degrees in how to do the job,
yeah.
right? And if you're good at doing the job, because when you're junior, your only responsibility is to do a good job. That's your only responsibility. And if you do a good job, we will promote you. And if you continue to do a good job, we'll continue to promote you until you get to the point where you're now in a position where you're going to be responsible for people who do the job that you used to do.
Right. And that's called manage, right?
And the reason these people who have the opportunity to become leaders become managers is because now they've made this transition. They're no longer responsible for doing the job, they're responsible for others who are doing the job, but we don't teach them how to do that. We just expect that they're good at it, which is unfair. We set them up for failure, or we set them up to become managers. And the reason they become managers is because very often they do know how to do the job better than the others. That's what got them promoted. And there's this fascinating transition that people have to make, where we have to make the transition where we are no longer responsible for the results. We are no longer responsible for the work. We are now responsible for the people who are responsible for the results. We are now responsible for the people who are responsible for the work. And we don't teach people how to go through that transition, and we don't give them the skill set as they make their way higher and higher up the ranks. And then what you end up with is CEOs who say, my number one responsibility are the results. Really? Really? Because you don't do anything that affects the results.
Well, the excuse is, well, the stakeholder